hopefully.
I'm refreshing.
Oh, it just started right now.
All right.
And welcome back, everyone. And sorry for that mess. We had our stream go down. We had to start everything back up. So we're glad to be back, but we're rejoining the games, and we hope we can get back some of the viewers.
We
Uh,
have Alexi. Alexi, thank you, Alexi.
Alexi, thank you for hanging with us.
Yeah,
And here we are, and we're
we still have plenty of people here. They have faith in us. They're interested in our
yeah.
commentary.
Thanks for sticking
Thanks,
around.
everybody. Yeah.
And here we are, back to the game. And actually, Mike Walder offered a draw to Eric, and Eric declined it.
Okay, so Eric has um, kept the exchange, and but he's going through some risky business here. Um, B6 here, and if Queen B6, that our old friend Queen B5 check. Um, of course, that's not going to happen. I guess Black is going to play Bishop E7, but then White can play Queen B5 check and take on E5. This is still a risky decline draw.
Yeah, it's kind of surprising, but it's actually not from Eric because Eric's the
White's going to have two pawns for the exchange, and Black's king is still in the middle. So, and White's got more time. So, Michael Walder is pretty canny about his draw offers. So, not clear what exactly is going on here. Try B6. Who knows? Maybe Queen B5 check. I guess Bishop G7. Maybe White should take on E5 now and just get it over with, I think. Black is coming, though, with A4.
and
Double-edged, folks.
and checking out Elliot Winslow's game here.
Double-edged. And so the knight does come to C5, and both the white knight on C6 is certainly a beast. And what's Elliot going to do here? Play Queen C2? This is a tough one. This is a tough little situation here. Not clear.
And Elliot down to 15 minutes. Still plenty of time, obviously, but
Black might be, I mean, Black's probably not going to play knight. Yeah, Queen C2. Black doesn't want to take on E4, I don't think, although it's possible. And now let's just play Rook C8. But then comes Bishop F3. So knight E4 first, and then Bishop, and then Rook C8. White's going to play Rook B7. This is going to fizzle out into not much.
it looks like this was favorable for Black at the end of the day,
Yeah, I think
or
so.
compared to what could have been.
Yeah, no, it's turning out fine, or at least going to be equal.
Going back, Eric plays Bishop E7 here.
Not Bishop G7. So B6, and now Queen B5 check, and King F8, and that's why Black didn't play Bishop G7. Queen B5 check would have been very strong. Check King F8, and if Queen E5, Black is under trouble. Black, I don't see an easy escape for Black there. Maybe Bishop F6, Queen F6, Queen E4. Threatening Queen E1 mate.
King f8 played.
So if queen e5, bishop f6, queen f6, queen takes e4. And that sets up the idea of queen, apart from queen e1 mate, threatens queen f4 check too. Bishop takes e5. There we go. Bishop takes e5, maintaining the tension. And that's a disappointing move for black to see, I think.
Because there's so much that can happen now.
Yeah, I mean, black wants some simplification here. And Michael's very clever with the draw offers, you know. It's like it can be just on the verge of a winning, losing kind of position. This can go bad for black quickly here.
You know, I was looking, why not queen e4, and I'm noticing b7.
Yeah, b7,
Yeah.
exactly. Oh, no, queen e1 mate. You can't play b7 because of queen to e1 mate. Yeah, so bishop to d3.
Right.
Maybe bishop to d3, and if queen takes g2, you know, bring the rook over to the f file, maybe rook f1, and keeping an eye on.
Christian Clemens is saying queen e4, bishop c3.
Yeah, but I like the idea of bringing the other bishop out,
right,
sacrificing even another pawn,
and it's defended by the queen on b5, the bishop on e5.
Yeah, everything is kind of like, and then the threat is stronger than the execution. Like after queen e4, bishop d3, queen g2, rook f1, the threat of b7 is just incredibly powerful. And the black king still can't leave the back rank. Black throws in bishop g5 check. He's going to play bishop e3 maybe. Yeah, sure, maybe. I liked bishop to d3 because it threatened the queen, but maybe you're right. Bishop c4 is possible instead of. But black plays bishop g5 check with maybe the idea of playing bishop e3 and trying to go right after the b6 pawn, but then bishop c7, and then king g7. I mean, then black would like to get to connect those rooks.
But what about like bishop d6 check and then putting the queen on e5?
Yeah, I mean, that's true too.
It's going to be tough for black. It's just those two bishops are going to be pretty strong.
Yeah, both players are not out of the woods yet, you know.
Checking in real quick on Rui's game. Talk about like pawn positions here.
Yeah, I mean, this is, you know, the black wants to get in f4 or pressure down the e file. Meanwhile, white's trying to take, you know, trying to get through on the queen side.
Let's go back to that game because bishop e3 was played by.
Now, bishop d6, king g7, queen e5 check, like you recommended, is met by king h7. So black, you're just chasing the black king sort of into safety or hiding. So I like bishop c7 maybe to sort of and then try for some kind of rapid attack on f7. I guess queen e4, bishop c7, and then if queen e4, pawn to b7, catching black, with that. So bishop c7, king g7, and then maybe bishop c4, threatening bishop d5. Black might be in some trouble here. Are we missing something after bishop c7? Okay, how's Mr. Winslow doing?
This game. Ooh. Here's where we're at with this game.
White got a lot here. He did get down to the 7th rank. Both players have vulnerable back ranks. In fact, black is threatening mate in 1, so
Right.
that's as vulnerable as it gets. White's going to lose the c3 pawn and then has to pick up one of the black pawns as compensation. And then you can see this petering out to a draw unless somebody gets, sideswiped by something horrible here.
Back to this.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we're still in the same position here.
Sideswiped is the new chess.
Look at this. This is Guy Argo's game against Sanjeev Anand.
Is this one of those Petrov attacks or something? Old Indian?
This is the Philidor defense.
Philidor, rather.
Hanam lion variation.
Yeah, this is this line that it's been played since the 1800s, where black plays this kind of pawn storming thing, and on the king side. What's the name of it according to you?
According to chess.com, it's the Philidor defense Hanam lion variation.
The Hanham, yeah, Hanham. That's the variation where black plays
Bishop c4,
knight g7,
bishop e7, castle.
Yeah. Complicated. Not one pawn or piece has been exchanged. So I prefer white here, but black doesn't seem to have any easy way to break through on the king side, but this could go any way, obviously.
Going back to Elliott's game here, and he did lose that c3 pawn.
Yeah, so white has to try to win the d6 pawn, maybe rook d7 right now. Or white's played h4.
Yeah, but even if rook d7, bishop e5, right?
Yeah,
and then
that's a simple, and then rook d8 check or something like that. Trade off, king g7, and white has nothing and is faced with queen d1 mate. Yeah, Elliott's gotten himself into a pickle here, a chess pickle.
And back to the game of the round here, we're following National Master Mike Walder and FIDE Master Eric Yuhan Lee.
Now this is a great, okay, so bishop c4 without defending the b6 pawn. So there must be something juicy for white here. Queen b6, queen d5 threatens the rook at a8 and the pawn at f7. And if rook a7, boy, this is complicated. If rook a7 Does white have a shot? Um, Queen b6. Yeah, I think after the queen b6, maybe it's queen d5, rook a7, and then does anybody see anything? Then rook f1 maybe, or bishop d6 check and then rook f1, or something along those lines. Queen b6, he plays it. All right, is there a win here for white? Queen d5 hits the, or queen d7. Queen d7. Uh-oh, what does black do? If rook a7, queen c8. If queen a7, queen d6. This is, black is on the verge of catastrophe here.
Queen d7, no?
Queen d7, I think looks better than queen d5, but I still don't see queen d7, queen a7, maybe bishop c7, blocking the queen out. Black is on the verge of disaster here, and also, he plays queen d5. That looks like rook a7 sort of takes care of that, I think. Although then there's still rook f1, which we have to look at. Yeah. Oof.
A lot of pressure white
A
can
lot
put.
of pressure. Queen d7 was very strong as well, I think. This may prove to be even better. I mean, it looks like white should be winning somehow.
I mean, what? Yeah, you have to do rook a7
Well, yeah, because if you go queen a7,
because your rook's hanging.
no, well, queen defends the rook.
Currently?
No, if you play queen a7.
Yeah, yeah.
But then queen d6, queen e7. So after queen a7, just rook f1. I mean, that's what's coming up for black, is this rook, the rook entering the game. It's like that's really going to be overload time. I think that's going to end the game here. Rook f1 on the next move. I think black overestimated his chances, refusing the draw. Very, very canny draw offer on Mike's part. I think rook f1 is just, that's it. That's going to be it.
Well, what if rook a7, rook f1, queen b7?
Well, why are you asking these difficult to answer questions?
Oh no, no.
Okay. No, that's true.
No, but
Okay.
queen d8.
That, yeah, queen d8 mate.
Yeah.
Yeah. Rook f1 is incredibly powerful here. I don't see a defense. If bishop f2, rook takes f2, follow, and queen d8 mate. So that's it. That's just it. And Michael's got all the time in the world to figure this out.
And he can't even play f5 because of take on g8.
Queen takes g8 mate. Yeah. Wow. Simple as that.
And Clemens is saying he's practically a piece up with the rook on g8.
Coming up is rook f1. I mean, Michael is really, his style of play is just dynamic. Look, he plays rook f1. That's it. Crushing victory.
And that
and a very clever draw offer, in a way.
But clever how? Like, in what way would it have been? Like, what was clever about it?
Well, that's a good question. Yeah, that's true. I mean, I think Michael has been, well, he made that a draw offer to Gadir, or in a position where he was
Or he
better.
was
And it
better.
looks like he might have done the same thing here. Um, I think a player's worst enemy is themselves. And so Mike is making these draw offers in positions of strength. Um, it says to me that he's starting to get the positions now, and so I'm rooting for him to get his grandmaster title in a couple of years. Queen e6 is just white plays queen takes e6 and black can't recapture because of a pin. So, wow. I mean, rook f1. This has been a beautiful game by Michael.
Yeah, no, it was incredible with the sacrificing, the exchange, and
And he's had some great, okay, king e8. King
king
e8.
e8, king e8.
I guess that's force. Rook f7. Yikes. Yeah, there can't be any
No.
escape after rook takes f7. I mean, you have bishop f5, bishop b5 check coming as well. Oh,
This is so brutal. And yeah,
king e8, rook f7, rook f8, bishop b5 check. And then if queen takes b5, you throw rook takes f8 check in first before you take his queen. So that won't work. Nice try though, Alexei. It's probably the only move that even lasts for a minute here. Bishop f2, rook f2, queen d8 mate. If the f pawn moves, queen takes g8 check. If f6, queen takes g8 mate, or queen takes g8 check.
check.
Yeah. And if king e8, rook f7, white is threatening queen, just rook takes a7 and queen takes g8. So I think Eric is, yeah, there's no escape. Michael,
What a
this
game.
young man, Michael Walter here, he's shown a lot of promise lately and he's starting to live up to it. Yeah.
You
This
know,
kid.
he's funny. Wow, rook g7 has been played.
Well, bishop g7 check, and then what's he gonna do? He can't play king g7, rook f7 check, and then as Christian said, it's like mate in three or something.
I was saying Mike Walder had a similar style win against Kyron Griffith at the Mechanics Institute, where it was just like flashing brilliance, and
Yeah, I mean,
he has it in him.
we call him Michael Walzer, but really it's Michael Tall,
Yeah, there you go, Michael, Michael Tull.
So bishop g7, king g7, rook f7, king h8, and then you can just play rook a7, queen g8, mate. So there's no hope here.
Hey Nathan Fong's in the chat. What happened in your game? He won against William Sartorio. This is the final position for Nathan. Yes.
Oh yeah, sure.
Very nice. Very nice. Yep. Rook G2, Queen D1, and then
Wait a minute. Whose move is it here?
White's move.
So if Rook G2, Rook takes. What's the finish here? Who won this game?
Nathan Fong.
But what happens if White plays Rook G2? Oh, Queen takes D7.
Oh, yep.
Yeah.
That is what's called a fork in
Yeah.
chess.
So Rook G2, Queen takes D7.
Yeah, nice win, Nathan.
Yeah.
Go Bears.
Yeah, let's see what the Michael Walter game. We're all kind of waiting on
And he's taking his time, just trying to.
trying to find a losing move.
and Nathan puts a fork in the chat. Love it.
Oh yeah, you can do that. Yeah. Oh brother.
So what do we do here? Like, so Bishop takes.
We're not covering the under 1800 section at all, and we're getting forked by our own.
All right, here we're gonna cover it right now. Oh, no wonder, because Reika Stare is actually. How did this happen? Because she looked like she was losing, and then came back. Going back to
Reika is winning this.
yeah, but look, this is where we were at here, and she was losing. She's down like a piece and a pawn.
Yeah, but there's an attack here, right?
Yeah.
But is it good enough? Probably
Oh,
not.
look at that! Look at that! Look at that!
Oh, beautiful shot. Queen G8 check.
Yeah.
Gotta hand it to her.
Look at
What a
that.
great move.
Look at that! Fantastic shot!
Nice, epic.
Look at that! And now it's just
A matter of technique, but still, yeah, this is a win for White.
there you
for
go.
sure.
Take the bishop. Boom! Right there.
Reika
Nice job, Reika.
Fantastic.
Fantastic win.
and caught Fig snoring.
There we go. Okay.
Reika Starry catches Fig snoring.
And there it is. The rest is elementary, my dear
We are
Watson.
not ever going to ignore the under 1800 section.
There you go.
Reika.
Good job.
I mean, this is, getting ready for chess at Oxford.
Oh, yeah. Oxford chess.
Speaking of which, I think that Oxford University has a rich chess tradition, but it'd be interesting to look at it.
Yeah, it probably goes back.
Yeah.
How old's Oxford? Like 1200 or something. When were they founded? Like 1200 BC.
Right.
Let's check out and Mike Walder.
And Mike Walter won.
And this is the
Wow, Mike! Congratulations.
Here's the position. Take. Yeah, I mean the.
Nice, Michael.
Well
Fantastic.
And then
Great game.
In the tournament chat, Mike Walder saying that Christopher Yu crushed him as White in this very same line.
Who's saying that?
Mike Walder
Oh, okay.
saying that Christopher Yu crushed him
In the same line.
as White. Yeah, in the same line.
Wow.
So
Dangerous.
he was familiar,
Yeah.
and it showed. Fantastic win by Mike Walder.
Yeah. Michael, you are finally, as you're getting older and maturing, you're showing some real promise here.
And Mike Wilder. The wild game. Mike Tall. All right, let's
Yeah, Mike Tallwalder.
look at this. This is back to Sanjeev Anand and Guy Argo. Has there even been a piece traded in this? Yep.
Oh, Black decided to continue playing in the spirit of this opening, which is to sacrifice everything on the king side.
And it's funny because true to form, Guy Argo is low on time. I remember him several times in the TNM. Time gets low, but he actually is able to play fast under 2 minutes. So I'm not worried
Right.
about him and his 3 minutes.
No, no. Um, this opening is suspect for Black, and Black's now down a piece, but White has to play well in order not to, fall further behind here. Doesn't want to allow things like f5 and knight f6, and you have to sort of, get going here with your defense. If there is one.
Let's
This bishop at b3 is not in the game at all and needs to be redeployed. And David is doing what he's supposed to be doing, which is trying to break through on the queen side, and Black has yet to sort of make her move on the king side.
what is she gonna do? Like Queen G3 or something?
Queen a5. If Queen g3, Rook f3, maybe Queen a5,
Then
Queen a5 or Queen g3.
Queen H4.
Yeah, with the idea of playing g4,
Right.
maybe. And also Queen g3 keeps an eye on the b8 square too. So maybe it's a wiser move. Although Rook f3, Queen h4, Rook f7, Queen b8, followed by putting the queen on e5 or something. I don't know. This game is still on the verge of, disaster for somebody.
And Rui's actually got more time in this game. Wow.
So Queen g3, Rook f3. So Black is worried about her first rank, and maybe was worried about that Queen b8, Queen e5 idea and now wants to just play it slow and play for f4 and Bishop h3. So is White going to swing around with the other rook and then play Rook b8? Does this slow down White at all? Tactics are coming up here. Rook b2, f4.
And Elliot's going to close the show in his game soon. So congrats to Elliot.
And how did Elliot do in his first game?
In his
today? Oh, that was a draw with Michael Walder. Yeah.
Right.
So Black has to keep going here with f4. And let's look at it. f4, Rook f7 now. And then so Black just trying to hold the fort here. King g7.
Maybe Rui's going to do the king march, the g6, h5.
Yeah, but King g6 is met by g4. So Rook f7, White plays Rook b8. And now Queen c7. Boy, this is
It's like tough.
murderous complications here.
Queen c7 and then g3. Yeah.
Trying to get into G3 again, but why didn't she play in the first place? Maybe.
Actually,
So now black is a little safer than before, but rook 1 b7, queen g3, rook f7, or rook f8 rather,
actually,
king f8.
if white plays rook 2 to b7, couldn't she play rook takes b8?
Yeah, that gains the tempo. That's a good move. Very good move. Yeah. Easy to overlook that. That's a nice point there, Abel. Simplest for white is just to play rook takes f8, I would think. Otherwise, why do any of this stuff on the b file?
Right.
And now queen g3, and then maybe queen c1. And is black getting what? Or rook f7 check first. Crisis point here. I mean, the white queen would get completely out of play, and black would certainly have a perpetual check if white goes after the a7 pawn. Black might have more with the white queen all the way out of the play, but I don't think white wants to go passive here with queen c1, but I could be wrong.
And I'm wondering.
I've been wrong before.
And I'm wondering.
I think queen c1 is a mistake after f4. I think white should just plunge in with queen b7 and
and white's time is going to be an issue here.
Yeah.
At a minute 18.
I mean, queen c1 just doesn't work. Bishop f5 is better than queen c1, certainly, but and now maybe queen b7, and just like, okay, black's gonna play queen d4, and then actually that's not clear. White plays bishop e6, so maybe white should play queen b7 here. Queen d3, I don't like it. Although that's maybe not bad either. Takes and bishop g6. Black can maybe get in. I think white could have played queen b7 there. Very sharp. Threatening to take on a7 and also bishop e6 maybe, but it was very risky. I think it would have been okay. If queen d4, queen a7, that pass pawn, black could have only a draw. Players are probably going to agree to a draw here because black didn't trade queens, or maybe king f6.
You know, Rui is one of those players that is going to look for the victory.
Yeah, king f6, black can play on for a while,
especially
here.
With her opponent down to a minute.
And her opponent's just playing for a draw.
Right, and she knows it, so she smells the blood.
Right, yeah. White could have played queen b7, but now white's playing for a draw, and so black can play king f6. Does that change anything? After bishop h7? No, I don't think it does.
She's pushing f5. Coming out.
And then maybe h5, yeah. So what black wants to play g4 and g3, obviously. And this allows the black bishop onto the diagonal. White's playing with some fire here, but If white puts a queen on d1, yeah, Mike, nice win.
Great fourth round for Elliot and Mike. And so
This game is hard to tell what's really going on here.
I was like,
I
"Will she
mean,
have to go queen?" Oh wow, like going for it.
so yeah, white looks like he has to play pawn to g3. Allowing g3 is going to allow all kinds of misfortune. Queen f5 is looks like a mistake, although white's going to have some checks with queen e5 and stuff, but maybe this is fine. Queen h6 check, king g1, g3,
G3.
white, yeah, but then white can
No.
play queen e5 check.
Oh.
And white could have just played pawn to g3. I think that would have been completely fine. Although maybe bishop g6, white's trying to get out with some other tactics here.
No, I think this is dangerous. Queen h6, king g1, g3.
And if white plays queen h3, then queen c1 check. So what about queen e5 check? And then queen takes g3. Doesn't work. Black takes on d4. And now
Wow, this looks like complex.
yeah, this game is very complex. I mean, we're doing our best here, but black has an initiative, but is it enough to win? I don't know. I mean,
Now, is it possible to sort of flush the king out, like by going queen d1 check, king h2, and then g3?
yeah, but I mean, I think that would be what white would want. King takes g3. There's no way white's going to get mated. There's no way even that
No.
black could pick up the bishop. I don't think.
Wow, now Rui under 2 minutes.
Well, I think she might have blown it here. g3, queen g5 check, and queen takes g3. I mean, queen takes c5, queen takes g4 check. That's equal. King f8. That's probably the best thing for black to do here. Is just take on c5, and after queen g4 check, play king f6 or king f8 or bishop g6 or something like that. I don't see anything else, and that's what happens. Queen c5, and white takes that pawn. This should be equal. I mean, it should be, right? I think. I mean, black maybe has some tiny outside chance based on picking up the a6 pawn.
And David Askin offered the draw.
And that seems that seems reasonable.
And she declined it.
Yeah.
She's playing against his time.
Well, now queen d5, and white's better. I fail to understand this. White's even playing for a win here with this. Now bishop g6 and queen d5. What's white doing? Taking tremendous chances. Queen a6. Why is white play king g1? What does that have to do with anything here?
You just sense. There we go. And there it is.
Just a horrible blunder. Yeah, I mean, White's moves didn't make any sense.
And she was waiting on something like that.
And White could have just taken on g6 and played queen takes d5 with a drawn endgame. No.
And seconds on the clock here.
For both players. Nerves. Nerves. Both players are suffering from nerves. And somebody's pointing out that white can exchange queens and then bring the king to the a1 square, and that's a draw too. So, and black completely blows it there. And why white didn't take on a7 check is beyond me, but white's figured out the king to the
oh man
to the a1 square. Whoa.
Unbelievable.
This has been a funny game here.
Is there any kind of trickery using the pawn?
No.
No, there's nothing, right? She's just taking the pawn just to she's just taking the pawn just to take it. She offers a draw, and the game is drawn at move 99.
Is that right? Move 99. Wow.
What a game.
What a game is right.
Oh, wow. That massive swings there, but I love that Rui had to go take that pawn off before agreeing to the draw. So fantastic. That's got to be the last game of the round.
And we have, I just want to thank everybody again for hanging out with us and watching this. I hope you all think that it's as fun as we do. I know Abel and I are having a lot of fun here looking at these games. The good, the bad, and the ugly.
For sure. And there's apparently still one game. Let me see if I can get to it.
Shout out to England's. We hope that stay safe there in England, and we're glad. Join us next Tuesday. Play in our tournaments.
You can do it from there.
Yeah, you can do it from England.
And this is the last game of the round right here.
Okay, let's look at this.
Philip Gerstoft and Christian Jensen.
Another dramatic game. What's with this rook c7 threatens rook g7? And even though, so now rook e8. Some winning chances for black, for sure.
Change the orientation here. There we go.
What does white need to do to win this, to draw this? White should have played bishop c5, interestingly enough, I think. This could be a loss for white here, despite the reduced material.
Is this because the bishops are the same color?
Yeah, I'm wondering. Okay, so black just needs to put the black went behind a tempo, or did he? I think black could have challenged the bishop on the diag. Oh, why does white go back? Yikes. Yeah, there's no hope in this.
Yeah.
Well, and that's the fun thing about this, is we've seen some incredible things happen in these situations sometimes. Stalemates,
Yes,
draws,
and we've
unjust results. Unfair, unjust, and results that have nothing to do with chess as it should be played, and so on and so forth.
And yeah, Christian, what are you doing? It is over. And in the Twitch chat, I've put the link to our Tuesday night marathon. Congratulations to Philip Gerstoft, who closed the show and ended the Tuesday night marathon round 4.
Wow. So who are the leaders?
The leaders, with Eric losing that game, are still Alexander Lenderman and Gadir Guseyanov, each with 3.5. But we have several players. Well, no, and Mike Walder at 3.5.
Yeah, Mike Walder at 3.5.
And we have several players at 3, including Elliot Winslow and Kyron Griffith is going to be at 3. Nathan,
oh yeah,
Nathan,
we're gonna have a great round next Tuesday.
Nathan Fong at 3, and trying to see who won. And Daniel Lin is also at 3. So yeah, big results, and should have some good matches next week, especially if Kyron gets in there against one of the GMs.
Oh yeah,
Mike Walder will get in there.
Yeah, Walder, Lenderman.
And Eric Lee's still in the mix. He lost today, but he's still got 3 points.
And Elliot has 3?
Yes. Yep, he's got 3.
Okay.
So,
wow.
And the updated standings will be up there shortly, and they're up there now, as a matter of fact. So why don't we?
Yeah, let's take a look at the standings.
Can take a look at that. Going to the tournament page, and there we go. You can take a look at that.
Michael Walder, Flights of Fancy. Now, we got to tell Michael, just because you're outranked by 600 rating points, don't let that worry you. And
and it hasn't in the past.
It hasn't in the past, and this time, don't let Gusenev off the hook.
And he's got all his his years of experience under his belt, so those will be.
We're definitely going to get Walder and Griffith against the Grandmasters.
Yeah, and we have 2 rounds. The final 2 rounds are going to be next Tuesday night, starting at 6:30 p.m. Pacific time, and then with round 5, and then we'll have round 6, which will be the final round. That'll be at 8 p.m. Pacific.
And
So
this has just been a great tournament for Ethan Boldy too. Got to hand it to him for playing some good chess. He really missed some chances, or had some good chances against
right again.
Guzinev.
Yep, yep. And
Okay.
and before we sign out, kudos to Chief TD Judith in the back room with the pairings and updating the standings and helping out in the chat. So
And shout out to Sebastian Suarez, Sebi Meister, who's 4-0 in the under 1800 section.
Sebi Meister, yeah, he has 4 out of 4, and Aaron Nikoski in the under 1800s also 4 out of 4. So they'll be playing each other next week.
And hot on their heels is Rama, who sent me an email today.
Ramachita with 3, as is Reika Stare, Mateo Hansen,
Right.
Andrew
Yeah, yeah.
Ballantyne, and Ethan Sun, all with 3. So
Yeah,
the kids are moving on up.
they're moving on up.
All right, so I think I think we're gonna give. Oh no, he's not, he hasn't started yet. I was gonna raid Daniel, but it doesn't look like he is on. So I think Eric Rosen. I think he is live. So, all right, we'll raid Eric Rosen. And thank you, everyone, for following us. Click the follow and tune in next Tuesday as we bring to you the final 2 rounds of the Mechanics Institute Tuesday Night Marathon.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, everyone. And any questions, don't forget to sign up. U.S. Amateur Team West, January 30th through the 31st. Go to the Mechanics Institute chess website and get all the information. Until then, we will see you and have a good night.
All right. Who's Mill Valley?
Thanks.